Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at something that we've never used before, just powered it up completely, was working on it for a while. We're going to be taking a look at level 50 Lopunny in the Ultra Premier. So it's going to have Double Kick, Fire Punch, and Hyper Beam. The only other move that it does have for the charge moves is going to be Focus Blast, which is also going to be doing quite nice. I just wanted to go with Hyper Beam as it is going to be around the same energy, a little bit more, but is doing more damage, plus you're getting stabbed. We've got Fire Punch for the steals, so I felt like it was a little bit redundant. I guess it is going to be hitting things very hard in that regard if they're weak to it, but Fire Punch and Hyper Beam were looking okay. Plus it's going to be giving us a little bit of coverage if we had to throw it up against a dragon or something like that. We're pairing it up with Dragalge as well as Swampert. Yeah, we're still going to be going with the Swampert. You better believe it. I'm sick and tired of it. So we're just going to go ahead and use it ourselves. Of course, the Dragalge always putting in that work. Now let's talk about the Lopunny here before we get into the commentary. Did it do well? Well, you're not getting stabbed from Double Kick or Fire Punch. You are from Hyper Beam, but you're very rarely going to get that off, and we will be seeing me landing some of those on some of my opponents here, and it is very satisfying. But it doesn't do enough damage. That's the problem that I was seeing with it. It is going to be able to take hits. I mean, it's a level 50, it better, but it does absorb damage quite nicely. But otherwise, you are going to be in a little bit of trouble, and I do not recommend that you use this here. I went negative, okay? Just going to put it out there. We'll be taking a look at some losses or a loss or something like that, but it was it's for the greater good, so you all could be entertained, and we could see some fun wins using it in certain situations here. Alright, so taking that win, now let's get into the commentary. I'm going to be leading with it for a few more battles and then swapping the Swampert. Met with an Escavalier, taking super effective from the counter, and we are going to be doing quite a bit of damage with our Fire Punch while we're doing a decent amount with the Double Kick as well. And we're going to be able to farm them down here, but we can take this, but we're going to go ahead and just shield it up so we can make sure we have plenty of health coming out of this. Unfortunately, down a shield, maybe we can get off a Hyper Beam. Bringing in a Gyarados with Dragon Breath. Folks, are we going to be able to land a Hyper Beam here with the Lopunny level 50? And we do. Very nice. As you can see, not even KOing the Gyarados. I guess, you know, it's doing a lot of damage, but hey, bringing in our Dragalge here. We're going to let this go. It is just going to be an Aqua Tail, farming them down, and the last Pokemon is going to be a Dragonite. Now, I screwed up severely here. I should have just kept going. Okay, folks, yeah, I should have just kept going. I should have threw the dang Aqua Tail, gotten a shield from them, and then I would have been able to get to another Hydro Cannon here, which is not very effective, but it still would have been able to do enough. And then we could have swapped in with maybe the remainder health that we do have on the Dragalge and Dragon Tail them down. So, yep, but I had to show it because we were able to do a little something with the Lopunny there. So it did what it needed to do, but I screwed up. I let these Pokemon down, and we're going to take this loss here. Unfortunately, Dragon Tail's obviously going to KO us, and down we go. Alright, well, good game nonetheless. Alrighty, next battle, we're going to be with a Charizard. That's something we absolutely do not want to see. Swapping into our Dragalge, of course, and they're bringing in a Wall Rain. So we've been countered in the front and in the middle here. Let's see if we're going to be able to come back from this. Should have baited here, but I just feel like they may let it go once in a while. But the one time I go for the Aqua Tail, you already know that's when they're going to let it go. Alright, so they're going to be shielding up the Outrage and then farming us down here. So I felt like, alright, well, the best bet is to just bring in the Lopunny. At least we're going to be doing super effective with the Double Kick. Not going to obviously get off any Hyper Beam here. And as you can see, absorbing the Icicle Spear quite nice. Alright, so there you go. At least it has a bit of bulk to it if you do decide to invest in this here. So this is where I was able to pull this battle back, as they are going to be swapping and locking themselves with their Charizard, bringing in the Swampert to catch that Blast Burn here, and we can let this go even if it's another one. Yeah, it's just going to be a Dragon Claw, so we're going to farm up a little bit extra energy so we're ready to go for the next Pokemon. Swampert always putting in that work, okay? We already know it's all OP, but we're met with a Grass type, which is going to be able to farm us down here. Just going to go ahead and throw the Hydro Cannon before we go down, and Lopunny's got a ton of energy, and we got Fire Punch on this, so let's see if we're going to be able to pull this off. Hitting me with a Weather Ball, probably should have let that go, but yeah, we should have known, you know, at this point we can take hits. So they're going to be catching this Fire Punch, which is fine. We kind of need to get rid of this Wall Rain anyways, and it still did have a decent amount of health. And we're going to farm them down with Double Kick. Let's go, Lopunny, putting in that work, getting to another Fire Punch. This is not going to be enough. Just one more quick move. Are we going to survive this? We already know probably because, well, it can actually take a hit, and we are. And taking the win, Lopunny putting in the work for us at the end. Let's get it. All right. So leading with Swampert, met with an Obstagoon. This is fine, I suppose. Dragalge will not mind this battle. Lopunny is going to be taking quite a bit of damage from counter as well as cross chop, but also dishing out a decent amount of damage with that double kick. So we're going to go ahead and swap after we're actually able to land that Hydro Cannon. They're going to be bringing in an Empoleon, which is going to be resisting all of our moves, but it's okay because we are going to be resisting the water. Drill Peck really isn't doing that much damage, and as you can see, Outrage is going to be doing more than a Drill Peck is going to be doing, as a matter of fact. And we're just going to get this off, see if we can get a shield, and we do. Great. So let's go ahead and take a look at how much Drill Peck is going to do. They obviously farmed up more. Okay, they go for Blizzard. There you go. Surprise, surprise. I guess that's what you're going to be wanting to run lately, huh? That Blizzard. So they just used up all that energy. Knowing that, we can farm them down. Not that we really had a chance to throw energy there. Kind of maybe, but anyways. We're going to swap into our Swampert to absorb that. Very nice. But they got a freaking Venusaur in the back. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. So keep seeing this grass, all right, with the Swampert on the team. Okay. Bring in the Lopunny, and again, Fire Punch is going to be pulling this off for us here. Maybe it's not over until it's over. We need to get to one more, then we've still got 2 shields. So we're going to have to obviously have one for the Obstagoon, as it's going to have quite a bit of energy, plus it's going to have Cross Chop, which is going to start digging in with that counter, taking out the Venusaur. Get out of here. Great. Let's see if we can pull this one off with our Lopunny. We're going to go ahead and shield up this first one here, Cross Chop. We will be able to take another one, plus some counters, and we should be looking pretty good and pulling this win off yet again with Lopunny. Folks, give this video a thumbs up. Really do appreciate it. I got this in Seattle on the way to Arizona last year. So it was like in December. Pretty nice. Go plussed it. Next battle met with a Gengar. This is a good lead here. Hopefully they have Shadow Punch and Sludge Bomb, right? But I do believe we never even see their second charge move. They just go for Shadow Punch the entire time. So Lopunny is going to be resisting Ghost, so there is that to consider. But we also need to look out for potential Focus Blast as well as Sludge Bomb. So we're going to shield up that first one, hitting me with a Shadow Punch. With the next one, obviously we already knew that's what it was going to be because it didn't have that much energy. And they're shielding up their Gengar twice. So I decided to go ahead and bring in our Dragalge. We're going to be met with another Empoleon. Okay, no problem. We can take care of this here. And that was quite quick. Definitely not going to be a Blizzard this time. Drill Peck. There you go. That's how much Drill Peck is going to do. As we're also going to be resisting their quick move, we don't really have to worry about shielding this up or anything like that. Plus, maintaining that one shield is going to be giving us a massive advantage here. They're getting to another charge move. We should barely survive this here. Alright, so I don't think I even hit all these bubbles. Yeah, okay, good. Because we want to get a little bit of farm with the Lopunny, and we don't want them to get to a charge move. Perfect. And they swapped with like 1 HP, bringing in their Gengar as we go for the Fire Punch. Not enough to KO. Now, they're going to have a massive resistance to fighting, and we're not going to be getting stabbed. Double Kick also doesn't do that much damage, so we're going to be able to get a whole heck of a lot of energy. Are we going to be able to Hyper Beam something back there, folks? Let's see what happens. So they keep going for Shadow Punch here. I'm like, okay, they must have Shadow Ball or something. All right, so great, perfect. Works for me here as we do resist it because we're normal. And their other Pokemon is about to faint, their Empoleon, so we can double kick it down. We don't need to throw. We need to be careful here. We almost threw a Hyper Beam on it. They were trying to trick me there, so we're going to go ahead and throw that Hyper Beam. What was that going to be? A Kingdra. So we're immediately swapping. Should have went for Earthquake, but go for a Hydro Cannon. Like, let's go ahead and see if that's enough, but that's a Dragon and Water type, massively resisted. Lopunny going into the battle, and we're able to double kick them down before they get to an Outrage. That was a pretty close one, and another screw up on my end. Next battle met with a Muck. Great, this is a good lead for us here. Let's see what they have. If they swap, we probably want to bring in the Dragalge up against the Dragonite especially. And this time we're not going to be wasting any time swapping. We're getting in there immediately here. We're going to have to use a shield right there because that Shadow Dragonite's Dragon Claw super effective damage is going to be doing a whole heck of a lot. Bringing back that Muck, we are going to be resisting Thunder Punch as well as the Poison Jab, letting it go. I was thinking if it's going to be Dark Pulse, that's fine. I'll just bring back the Swampert, but they're going to be going for the Thunder Punch. Looks like they're going to be trying to farm me down. Actually, if I remember this correctly, they do have Sludge Wave, and that is probably the problem. A very vulnerable Muck over there up against ground types, that is for sure. As well as other poisons, I guess, especially Dragalge because we are Dragon and we resist the Thunder. Bringing in the Swampert immediately, so it's going to force them to use up their shield here because they have a whole heck of a lot of energy on that Muck, and we're getting that shield. Going for a Sludge Wave, there it is, and they're swapping into a Machamp. This is perfect. This is why Swampert is so OP, but then again, also Venusaur. It's not going to be spamming it as fast as Frenzy Plant or as the Hydro Cannon on the Swampert, but still pretty good with that Vine Whip, right? I think that's why they did that, so Charizard has an advantage too, because you know how the Pokemon Company loves to prop up Charizard, right? And I have no problem with that because I love Charizard. So now all of them kind of have a really fast charging plus quick move that charges fast and a charge move that hits hard. There you go. All right, next battle, we're met with a Sylveon. What do we got going on here? This is okay, no problem at all. We're going to be building up to about 2 Hydro Cannons, a little bit less, but that's okay. We want to make sure we're not going to allow them to sneak a Charm through there and stopping them. If it looks like I did, it didn't. It was just right. Perfect. And they're going to be throwing right at about 3 HP here, or maybe 2. And yeah, getting a little bit brave. We're going to let it go. Bringing our Dragalge to Dragon Tail them down as their Charm user is gone, their Fairy type. And they're bringing in an Obstagoon, which is still going to be a decent matchup here. So I'm going to want to swap into our Lopunny at some point to kind of maybe try to snipe them. I don't think it's going to be a snipe, but just farm up at that point, because they don't want something in the back to see Dragalge. And this is not a good matchup for the Obstagoon. So there's something back there that really doesn't want to see it. We'll have to see in a second here. Going to go ahead and shield this one up. It is going to be an Obstruct again. So they have done that several times, and I'm hoping that's what this is going to be as well. Go ahead and lower that defense. No problem. There it is. And they're bringing in a Chandelure. Okay, that's... doesn't want to see Dragalge. Okay, yeah. So we're going to start throwing Fire Punches here, folks. Let's go. I could have went for Hyper Beam, but they still have 2 shields, so I thought they might shield it up. But since Chandelure is so squishy, we're actually putting a pretty big dent into this thing and bringing them down to about half, which is all we really needed to do. And now we're going to be able to farm them down with Dragon Tail, Dragalge, putting in the work in Lopunny. Let's go, folks. So it was worth it, sort of. At least I'm able to bring you a video. Next battle, fantastic lead up against Metagross. They're going to be swapping. We systematically and immediately swap into our Dragalge, as we do see that Shadow Crobat, and we need to win this matchup here because we had such a good lead. Now Lopunny is also going to be doing okay up against Metagross because of its Fire Punch, so we have that to think about as well. Alright, so let's continue on with the spam. Letting all this go. We're not going to shield up anything. We're going to call it all. Definitely going to be another Poison Fang here. And we're going to come out of this with very low health. Exactly what we want. They're sneaking one more quick move through. So Metagross is going to be able to get one quick move through and not too much farm. They've got a Trevenant in the back. And we swap into our Lopunny. And this is looking like rock, paper, scissors sort of, right? Let's get it. Normal type resisted by the Ghost, so they can't go for Shadow Ball. Shadow Claw is really not doing too much. While we do have Fire Punch, we're looking perfect here. So we are going to shield up that first one. Now let's see how much a Seed Bomb is going to be doing. And a decent amount, respectable amount for sure. But we're going to be able to take at least 2 more of those, because the Shadow Claw is really not doing too much for it here. Going for another one. I do believe they're going to be shielding this up. Yeah, they're trying to keep that thing alive. They need to, so they could take out the Swampert. Building up enough for Fire Punch, swapping into our Swampert, getting to the Earthquake. This is obviously going to KO here. And they're so low with the Trevenant, they're going to have to throw immediately here. We have a shield left, but they have a ton of energy. They can't take us out, though. They really don't have enough. Bringing in the Lopunny. Gonna obviously shield this up, go for the Fire Punch, and take the win. Lopunny putting in the work, as you can see here. Some of the battles, the other 2 Pokemon are holding it up, but it did do pretty good. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.
It's out of my hand, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hand. You can never take away the power of my
Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic!
It's out of my hand.